Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Benjamin, aka Green Nuts. Today, I'm gonna read. Hold on. Let me put my shirt on first. Hold on. Today, we're gonna read Lord of the Flies. It says, when Lord of the Flies appeared in 1954, it read. Oh no. Let's start reading this. Lord of the Flies. Okay. Chapter 1. Sound of a Shell. The boy with fair hair lowered himself down the last few feet of rock and began to pick his way toward sweeter. No, not sweeter. Lagoon. But he had taken off his boots and trailed it now from one hand. His gray shirt stuck to him, and his hair was whispered to his forehead. All around of him, the long scar smashed it into the jungle was a bath of heat. He was scrambling heavy among the creepers and broken trunks when a bird with a vision of red and yellow blasted upwards with a witch-like cry, and this cry was itched by another. Hi, it says, wait a minute. The undergrowth at the side of the scar was shaking him, and multiple of raindrops fell pattering. Wait a minute, the voice said. I got caught up. The fair boy stopped and jerked his stocking with an automatic gesture that made a jungle seem for the moment like a home. The voice spoke again. I can hardly move with all these creeper things. The owner of the voice came backing out of the underground, so that twigs scratched it on a gracefully windbreaker. The naked crooks of his knees were clumped and scratched by thorns. He bent down, removed the thorns carefully, and turned it around. He was shorter than the fat boy, very fat. He came forward, searching out safe. for his feet, and then looked it up for thick picture, spectacular. Where's the man with a mask on? The fair boy. He shook his head. This is an island, at least. I think it's an island that is reef out in the sea. Perhaps there aren't any grown-ups anywhere. The bat, I mean, the fat boy looked and started. There was a quiet, but he wasn't in the passenger cabin. He was up in front. The fair boy was peering at the reef through screwed up eyes. Oh, you mother kid. The fat boy went on. Son of a fair boy began to pick his way to cautiously as possible forward. The water he tried to be offhand and not to obviously interrupt it. But I don't know what's this word, but that's okay. Let's continue. But the bad boy thundered after him. Aren't there any grown-ups at all? I don't think so, the fair boy said dissonantly, but daylight realized that inability overcame him in the middle of a star, and he stood on his head and grinned at the bursted fat boy. No grown-ups? The fat boy thought for a moment, but that flighted. The fair boy allowed his feet to come down and sat on the screaming earth. He must have flown off after he dropped us. He couldn't land here. Nice place with wheels. We was attacked it. He'll come back. He'll be back. All right. The fat boy shook his head. When we was coming down, I looked at through one of them windows. I saw another part of the plane. There were flames coming out of it. He lifted up and down the stars. And this is what the captain does. The fair boy reached it out and touched the jagged end of the drum. For a moment, he looked at interested. What happened to it? He asked it. Where's it got to now? That storm dragged it out of the sea. It wasn't half dangerous. With all them tree trunks falling, there must have been some kids doing it. He hesitated for a moment, then spoke again. What's your name? Ralph. The fat boy waited to be asking his name in turn, but this her revolver of coincidence was not made. The fair boy called Ralph smiled. Harry stood up and began to make his way once more toward the wagon. The fat boy turned steeply at his shoulder. I expect there's a lot more of us gathered about. You haven't seen any others, have you? Ralph shook his head and inserted his feet, and he tripped over a branch, and came down with a crash. The fat boy stood by him, breathing hard. My auntie told me not to run, he explained it, on account of my asthma. Asthma? That's right. Can't catch my breath. I was the only boy in our school what had asthma, said the fat boy with a touch of pride. And I've been wearing specs since I was 3. He looked off his glasses and held them out to Ralph, blinking and smiling, and then started to wipe him against his brutally windbreaker. Expressions of pain and inward concentration at the pale contours of his face. He smeared the sweat from his cheeks and quickly adjusted to spectacles on his nose. And Brooke glanced around the stars. And Brooke, he said, I expect he put on his glasses, waited from Ralph, and crouched it down among the tangled foliage. I'll be out again in just a minute. Ralph distanced himself and casually and stole away from branches. In a few seconds, the fat boy grunts were behind him, and he was hurrying toward the screen that still lay between him and the wagon. He slammed over a broken trunk and was out of the jungle, where shore was flagged with palm trees. He stood or clambered or leaped, clambered against the light, and their green feathers were 100 feet up in the air. The ground beneath then was a bank over it. Okay, I'm gonna continue on this, but where we left on, guys. Now let me show you my what they did in middle school. This right there. I have a great summer. I was boy. Here's my memories. What I have far. And the principal, right? I'm feeling crazy right now. This is him right there. I'm serious. Tiffany Weston? That's what I have. Oh my gosh. Pennywise. I'm skipping. Knox, New York. That's the Roostic. Franklin. And here is Kennebec. My favorite about my story is this boy right there, John Johnson. Here's Penobscot. You see me right there? That's me. Somerset. Here's the coon. I'm in. We're escaping him. Here's John Johnson's team right there, my friend. Oh, I'm in the band. Of course. You see Riverhawk mascot right there. We have a good time right there. Next the bees. And that was it. Everyone, make sure to like and subscribe. I hope you have a great time. Everyone, bye.